There's nothing like purchasing your very first console with your own hard-earned cash. But what is it? What is mine? A few of yous know, a lot don't. Let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back. Video responses. I don't do a lot of them, but when I do, I certainly have a lot of fun doing them. Sean from the Pompey's Game Room did one. He did ask a load of YouTubers to actually respond, but he left it open. And I thought, you know what, it's been 2 months, I'll throw out my video. And it was, what was the very first gaming console you purchased with your own cash? Now, I'm an old boy, so my first system really was a computer. And this isn't the original, this is the one I use these days more often than not, and it's the C64, but the Commodore 64 was my first computer. You know, all my games are on that flash disk there. I've got thousands. Absolutely thousands on that. Just plug it in and away you go. It's that easy these days. Loading times are kept to a minimum. Loading times on this back then. You kids have it easy. You may bitch about loading times, but believe me, on this thing, it could take anything from 2 to 6, maybe 10 minutes. And then sometimes it'd crash. But I was in the Commodore 64 camp. The ZX Spectrum, I had friends that had that. And for all those that had a ZX Spectrum, I suppose we used to shun you guys. Because ultimately, in my mind, the Commodore was the better console. Better colour palette. Better music. Better sound chip. Yes, the games were blocky. Where on the Spectrum, though, let's be honest, the sound, it ain't great. The colour palette is terrible. But the graphics are very crisp and precise. Brilliant machine. So that's how I started. I started on one of them. My mother bought it me, and I was still in junior school when I got that. Eventually, when I left home and everything, I actually got myself an Amiga. And I got myself an Amiga 600. I don't own one of those currently, but I did upgrade to an Amiga 1200. Now, this isn't my original either. I purchased this one a few years back now, and this is a beast of a computer. I couldn't even tell you what I've got in there, the trapdoor, because I can't remember what the hell I've put in it, but this is quite powerful. I've got a flash card in there as well. I think it was either a 16 or 32 gig. You know, this computer, originally, if you'd have bothered getting the hard drive for it, would have had 100 gigabytes. I'm not joking. 100. No, sorry, not gigabyte. It was megabyte. 100 megabyte hard drive. That's what would have come in this. So, but this ain't a console. It's a computer. And the Amigas, it's got a special place in my heart because it is a brilliant, brilliant system. So what did I move on to then? Because when I got rid of that, I was looking for something different. And I found it for a period because when I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, that is real. And it was real because it was using full motion video. And this is heavy. So sorry. Oh God. The Philips CDI. But is this really a console? in my mind, no. It's fracking huge. It is literally an old-fashioned CD player. You know, CDI, compact disc interactive. So, CD players back then were massive. This is no exception. It's what it is. But the difference with this one, forgive me, I'm all over the place. In there is where you're stuck. It's the digital video cartridge and the expansion slot. Now, again, this isn't my original one. I think I either gave mine or sold it to a lad in work called Scott when I used to work in Wrexham all those years ago. But I purchased this. As old new stock. So this was crisp out the box. But it didn't come with a digital video cartridge, and I'll be honest, that absolutely cost me a fracking fortune. You can get a more of a console version of this, which is a lot smaller and a lot slimmer. But you know what? It had some brilliant games for it. I'll show you one of the games I used to play near the end, but I don't class this as my first console, even though this was also purchased with my hard-earned cash. So we're down to the last one. The very first console, in my mind, that I purchased with my own cash, because I don't class that as a console. It's just a glorified CD player. But I'm going to have to lean to the side. I've got it. And that's a Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn. And this is my original Sega Saturn that I purchased. Why did I purchase the Sega Saturn? It was a toss-up at the time because the Sony PlayStation had just come out. And I turned round to the wife and I said, was she my wife at the time, actually? Might have been girlfriend at the time. Sony, PlayStation, what the hell's that? They're not going to last 5 minutes. Sega have been around for years. These are the cool kids on the block. We'll get one of these. Yeah, I know. But this is such a fantastic console. I've got the Action Replay cartridge in there, so I can play games from other regions. And, you know, when I got this and plugged it in for the first time and started playing those games, it was absolutely magical. I'd never played anything like it at that time. But, of course, the second I heard that they dropped out of the console market, I went out and got myself a Sony PlayStation, and the rest is history. But just to show you some of the games, and that was definitely purchased for recommended retail price. I can't remember what that is now, but I've got the original box, the instructions, the whole shebang, but I keep it stored in the loft because that's normally on one of the shelves there. But the games, that's not all of them. And I'm looking over, and certainly that one, I've showed it on my channel before. Oh my God, Sega Rally. What can I say that's not been said about this game before now? Just a brilliant arcade racing game. Me and Martin at the time were hammering this to death, something rotten. We really were. Certainly on Time Attack, where we would constantly be battling each other. We'd be taking turns to beat each other's time by milliseconds at the end. But, oh, what a fantastic game. What a fantastic game. I'm just trying to see if I can see any of the others. Oh, and I can't. Robotica. That's a game that doesn't get a lot of love. And I can vaguely remember, because I've not played this for a long time, and I'm looking at the back for a little bit of guidance. I can't remember the story, but you are certainly some sort of mech, and you've got to clear levels. And that's probably about all I can remember about it. But again, it was such a different game. I'd not played anything like it up to this point. And it was brilliant, you know, certainly going from what was an 8-bit microcomputer, if you like, to a 32-bit Amiga 1200 to full motion video, but the games weren't as plentiful. to something like this was certainly something special. And it was a brilliant game. Now, I'm trying to twist further, and I'll probably just snap my bleeding neck. Gun Griffin. That's another game that I've shown. That's a mech game. And that's brilliant. You can be dropped onto the battlefield, up against other mechs, other tanks. That's a really, really good game. You need to check that one out. But moving on now to a few, shall we say, more expensive. And that's certainly one that I've picked up fairly recently. It's sort of like Resident Evil, classic Resident Evil. As long as you can put up with the slow loading times, it's a pretty good game. I've only played it a little, not a lot, but I do like it. Panzer Dragoon Saga. I have got, let me just get all these. The whole lot, the whole shebang. Whole shebang. So, number 1, number 2, and the most expensive one of them all, Thordiska. And if you certainly do enjoy railgun, that doesn't sound right, does it? I can't remember the terminology. You'll be taken on a path and you just shoot things, basically. Rail shooters. Oh, God, that was so difficult. These are pretty good. There was an updated version, one they brought out for, was it the Xbox? I can't remember. But I'm wanting to go for a full collection, so you've got to get these others. You've got to get them into your collection. And the reason why I want a full collection is because the console does have a special place in my heart, with it being the first console I purchased with my own cash. And I'm discovering games that have passed me by. And it's brilliant checking them out. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of lemons out there. But there's some real gems as well. Virtual On, I think that's a beat 'em up. Yes, beat 'em up. Check that one out. There was another one I wanted. Darius. Oh man, Darius. If you're into your shooters, that's Darius 2. But I've got the original Darius as well. I probably got it packed away, no my luck. I'm just looking for it and I can't see it. It's there's that there. Virtual Racing. This is actually a really, really good port of it. If I remember correctly, it originally came out in the 32X because Sega wanted to show the power of that console. But this is a brilliant port. Absolutely fantastic racer. Night Wolves. Or Night Warriors, rather. Darkstalker's Revenge. So, depending on which part of the world, it's either called Night Warriors or Darkstalkers. I think it's on the PlayStation 1 it's called Darkstalkers. But it's a fantastic beat 'em up. Really is. And, you know, I'm just looking over at some of the other games there now. Independence Day. Sega Touring Car. I still need to do a video on that using the steering wheel. But it was such a magical system. Oh, God. There's one that me and the wife need to finish. Oh, it's not that one. I picked up the wrong one. But, oh, God, no. Right. I purchased this one recently. When the wife suddenly realised what it was, she actually said to me, what have you picked up that shit for? Resurrection Rise 2. This is the second game, can you believe they did one? Rise of the Robots. Possibly one of the worst, shall we say, robotic fighting games you will ever play. I completed it because originally I had it on the Philips CDI. I completed it that Christmas morning. But it's just shocking. It's the most clunkiest fighting game I've ever played. It is really, really poor. So when I spotted this, I had to have it because I want the complete collection. But when the wife spotted it, what have you bought that shit for? She's not too impressed with me. Any others do I want to quickly mention? Command and Conquer. There they are. And these were two of the original games I got when I purchased it. Alien Trilogy. It's still such a good game today. It really is. The noises, the sounds was fantastic. And Command and Conquer. What a classic. What a gem of a game. You know, this was the first game when I purchased it that got me into strategy games. It's such a good game. Certainly better played on the PC. And obviously there's better ports out on it now. But again, what a fantastic game. And I could certainly go on forevermore. I suppose at some point I could do a Sega game collection video there for you on the Saturn. But I won't. Not at the moment. Not at the moment. So any quick ones... do I want to do? I'll do one more. Because again, this was... I've not played anything like it. And I've still not got the label off it. But Destruction Derby. Certainly Destruction Derby 2 is better. But this was such a brilliant game to play. And these were games that... you know, the graphics, the art style, the music, because bear in mind, it's all CD quality, the music, so it was unlike anything I'd heard up to that point. Absolutely breathtakingly beautiful, and just so many fun times. And that's it. I'll end this video there. I hope you've enjoyed it. You know a bit more about me now as well. And certainly the Sega Saturn is such a fantastic console. It really is. I'm happy, more than happy to have one in my collection. So, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your comments. Do you think I'm right about the CDI? It wasn't my first console as far as I'm concerned. Right, I'll leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you for supporting me. Catch you lot all again. Take care. Woohoo!